We're live.
Hello.
Sarcastic Grandpa. Hey, speaking of sarcastic grandpas, Mechanized Imposter, thank you for that sub. 17 months. Paint Liquor. Jason, welcome back.
I've never
You've
left.
been gone for a long
I
time.
haven't left.
Mentally, did you leave?
You left.
I left.
You left.
I did. Hey, I'm so glad to be back.
You left us.
Is Gabe Cam still going? Missed a couple. Nibling, there's no more Gabe Cam. There's no more Gabe Cam.
It's sexy Chris Cam.
A little. I gotta fix this. It's okay. It's my first day back. Boo-Ray, welcome back. Back to the mines. Oh, we're back to the mines, all right.
Where did Baby J go? He was a great producer. What?
Paint Liquor? What are you?
Damn, dude. Fired.
Paint Liquor, what are you talking
Fired.
about right now? Paint Liquor, welcome in, everybody. It is a Monday.
Welcome in, Christopher.
It's a beautiful Monday. And when I say Monday, I mean Wednesday.
Because it is Wednesday.
But it's my Monday.
But it's...
But
Wednesday.
it's... I get it. It's like a little rim shot, right?
But it's...
Hey, where did Baby J go? Baby J is not here. Welcome to the mines. Dyslexic Mini Painter, Solitaire.
But it's...
No, he's not. He's in a very important business meeting.
Scrunts.
Um,
But it's...
how you doing, Jason?
But it's...
How's it going? Okay, I think we need something's going on with Jason. I don't know what it is yet, but we're gonna find out. How you doing up there?
Solitaire says, Gabe, if you're watching, no.
Apparently, that was the thing.
Yes, it was.
You told Gabe no all the time
I commanded chat.
to tell Gabe
Actually,
no.
I asked chat who they love more and to show their love. And if they love me more, then they would have told Gabe no every time he opened his mouth, which they did.
Oh,
So
I don't know if my little heart could take it. It's looking great. I'm over here doing a chariot and can't wait to be done with it. Nibling, I feel you. Evening, Dumbrus.
Why is the chariot bad?
Why? Yeah, I was just about to say, how big is this chariot? You painting a real chariot?
Is it very large?
I don't know why that was funny. Jason,
Sir?
what are you doing today?
I am going to paint the buckles on his shoes first. Payne's gray pop.
The buckles on his shoes. One might say he's got some fly shoes.
Payne's gray pouch. Whoa.
Wow.
I need you to settle down over there. With
We're
those.
starting.
I need you to settle down over there.
Chat,
With those.
I'm glad
kind
to
of
be
jokes.
back.
And pale yellow pouch.
I'm glad to be back.
It's actually bright. Pale yellow, bright. Pale yellow, not just pale yellow. This is bright.
1-2 buckle my show. Solitaire fired. And you said shoe at the end of it. I know you said my show and then you corrected it with shoe, but it is now 1-2 buckle my show.
Welcome my show.
It's a high elf chariot, just lots of decoration and gems. Oh, all the little
soul
little Billy.
gems.
Boo.
Wow.
What is that? It's me.
Wow.
Your retribution.
Wow. Little Billy.
It's
Such
okay.
a friend of the channel.
Is he?
And then you get treated this way.
Danger. Hi, all. Thanks for streaming. Welcome back. Hey, Danger. Thank you for having me back. I am so glad that we are back.
Oh.
Absolutely vile. No, I'm not even going to finish that, Bill. You almost caught me reading that out loud. No, false. We're painting buckles apparently today.
You know, it's a thing.
How are we doing up there with
It's a
those
thing.
buckles? We got Payne's Gray going on. Chris, I demand a foot cam. False. You will not get a foot cam, little Billy. You get
Foot
this.
cam right there. Foot.
There's a foot. There's a boot. That's my face. That's Jason. I had lunch today.
Hi.
I had lunch pretty much
Who fed
every
you?
day while I was gone. Hope you're well, Chris. I have a question for you. After months, no years of telling us no producer Cam Gay shows up and gives it to us on day one. Now, Chris, how is chat supposed to take that? How are you supposed to take that? I don't got an answer for you. I fought hard and well, and I was outvoted. And now I have to deal with this until I get my act together and set up a camera.
Until he
A legit
accidentally
camera?
breaks it.
No, we're not gonna accidentally break it like Gabe did. That's okay. We
Gabe did.
It's okay. Gabe, I understand he went for one of my toys over here and he hit a button. Kyle Sparks, great question. Who put the Chris face on stream? This man in front of you demanded it from me.
Who put the ram in the Ramalama Ding Dong?
It was crazy. He came into
the sham in the sham.
He came into the office, skipping, right? How Jason does, do, and he put a gun to my head. This is crazy how this happened, right? And he said, "Chris, I'm only gonna ask you twice. I need a face cam for you."
There was no
gun
asking
to my
involved.
head.
There was guns and telling.
I'm like, oh my gosh.
I'm like,
why
Chris,
would we need
welcome to the guns and telling show.
Why would we need a face cam when the image already looks beautiful and amazing? And he's like, Chris, that's not what I asked for. As he, loaded, as he cocked the pistol back, and now you guys have a face cam. So, and speaking of face cams,
welcome everybody.
I'm so glad that you all survived without me. That's a good sign, though, right, Jason?
Are you glad?
Oh, of course I am. The show must go on.
It did go on.
It has to go on. We don't have a choice.
It did go on.
It did go on.
It was it an inferior product? I don't think so.
You think so?
I don't think so.
Hey, it's not about us. It's about we the people.
Good.
And I just need to clarify.
Oh God.
Because apparently nobody remembers my metaphors or is listening to me ever.
Here it comes.
Jason equals captain. I'm the ship. You're the ocean. As I point to you. Look at that. I like how my finger looks huge when I do this. Like, whoosh.
Oh, but let's not have a face cam.
Oh, it's Jason. Oh, but I don't want it. Oh, Philip. Who is that handsome man? That's Jason. Oh, it is Jason. That's what you meant to say. I understand what you're trying to say.
Glad you ate lunch, dude.
Camden, hey, Jason, I need you here today. I need you up here. He didn't realize he was getting this today. I think he was excited and then realized, oh crap.
He ate lunch.
Oh no. Hey, I finally found a mix for GW Color Tau Light Ochre. Ochre. Wait a second. 1 part light. Okay, 1 part light umber, 2 parts orange, 3 parts golden brown. This was a hard recipe. Oh, okay, Candom.
I like it.
I can see that.
I like it.
Finger cam looking good. Iterator, welcome in. The stream is the rails. Yes, that's one way to look at it, Boo-Ray. You are the rails. Wad, welcome in.
Chris, you are the wind beneath my sails.
You are the wind beneath my wings. Who sings that song?
You?
No. It's somebody actually sings that song. Willie Nelson. Alexander, what's up? We're painting some Lord Bzz today.
Bzz.
If you have not caught up with us recently, last week Jason started this model and has been diligently working on it.
Christopher?
Yes, sir.
We started this model this week.
No, not this week. Last week.
Started this model this week.
Not this week?
Totally, man. I painted all this in 2 days.
No.
100%.
Oh, you almost got me there. Oh, that's false. Okay. Alex WP, what's up? Okay, signs that song. Bette Midler? Is that how you pronounce it? Bette
Midler.
Bette Midler sings that song? Okay. I could see that for you.
She also wrote Metallica's whole first album. Very little known fact.
I did not realize she signs that song. I'm sure you meant sings there, Panic Bomb Arcade. I said your full name because you're in trouble. That's what I've always been told.
Christopher Luigi.
You just called me Luigi.
Christopher Luigi Masucci. Christopher Luigi Donato Masucci. That's what I envision your mom calling you when she's mad at you.
Christopher Luigi
Donato
Gorlami
Masucci.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
She just throws random.
Well, Jason, how have you been?
What?
How have you been?
Why is that interesting?
I need a synopsis of how this last week went.
I feel like it went okay.
Okay, that's good.
I feel like Gabe did an exemplary job.
Great.
other than the pretending so hard to be you part.
That's okay. We are one organism. We the people.
I don't like that. It doesn't feel right.
That
feels very weird.
One person.
Very weird to me.
Is it weird, or is it just not normal yet?
I feel like it's weird.
I don't know if Jason was ready for me today. My hot fury coming back strong into the boat today. More of a hot rod. Okay.
It's a room.
It's something. It's something. Yes, Panic Bomb, I understood what you were saying. I was just giving you a beautiful hard time because we appreciate and love all of you and welcome in. Thank you for choosing Monument Hobbies today.
It's kind of a prison love.
Is it a prison love?
Yeah.
Or is it a true love that has deep, deep pools of understanding and hope?
From a prison.
Lumberjack, what's up? Good afternoon, everyone, says Tech Elf. Good afternoon to you, too.
Welcome, everybody.
I've explained to Jason why I say good morning to him every time he walks in here, because it is a good morning. Or should it be a good morning to be
to me? You just said it.
No, I said, Jason, that's what Bilbo says to Gandalf when he sees him walking into the Shire. Good morning. That's the whole shtick.
But was Gandalf. It morning?
It was technically morning.
Well, then there was a reason he said good morning.
Was it a good morning to be good on or to have a good morning? Eric Baker just got my first Pro Acryl. Would you recommend I put them in a wet palette or on a rubber poppet? In a rubber poppet?
I feel like it's
rubber
your
poppet.
Preference. Your preference. Dealer's choice. How do you like to paint? They work however you like to work with them. If you like using a wet palette, bing, wet palette. I will throw in there the caveat that you need to make sure when using a wet palette that it is not overly wet. So just be careful as you work with a wet palette. This is true of any paint. Don't flood it. Allowing any acrylics to sit in a puddle of water for too long will cause you problems with having to remix and.
Chris, your absence came at the worst time. I need your expert tree painting advice for Sylvaneth Warcry Warband. Oh, let me think. I painted a tree this weekend.
Painted a tree this weekend.
I did. I'll give you my workup for bark that I found. It was dark umber. Then I dry brushed light umber. Then I did a thick wash just to get with black wash, half water to get it in the little recesses. And then I dry brushed light umber, and then I dry brush caramel brown, your choice, America. And that was it. That was my bark workup, and I loved it. And then I used dark camo green, bright yellow green. I dry brushed each of those layers on the leaves. And then I painted the little pine cones caramel brown. So Panic Bomb, I don't know what else to tell you. That's the workup. Hoosier, I love you, even though you send me dismay. So, Derpstick, question for Chris. You've mentioned before that you used advanced flesh tone as a base coat for skin. What colors do you usually use after that? Oh, for Chris. We're asking the paint questions now. I don't know how I feel about this, Jason. He's in his zone. Hey, Derpstick. Actually, this is funny you mentioned this because my little Gargant, when I mean little, I mean a big one, has a mouth, right? And there is a hand hanging out of his mouth. I did advanced flesh tone as the base coat, then magenta wash, right? And then I dry brushed beige red. And I freaking love how it came out. Like Kids Toys, basically a dry palette. Yeah, Eric, he uses a piece of glass up there in the top corner there. See right above me? That's called the palette cam. That's his palette. Just right there in the shot for all of you to see. That's right.
It's right there.
Jason, welcome back.
I didn't go anywhere.
Did you, though? I think you did.
I didn't.
I use the short for painting mouths and tongues. Yes, Hoosier. That is an amazing short, by the way. Jordan did that. I use that workup. And if you all don't know what he's talking about, on our YouTube shorts, there's a how to paint mouths and teeth, and it came out great. Lumberjack says, I like gray for bark. A lot of bark isn't brown. This is true. I was actually looking at some of the trees, and I realized that this weekend after I painted it cartoony brown. But I kind of like brown for trees. I don't know why. It just, for the trunks, it gets me, you know?
It is going to process better with the viewer if you do it in browns, but you can use the grays along with the browns.
Like an ashy gray.
And that works really well too.
Yeah. Because I was looking at a pine tree, lots of grays, lots of reds. Hoosier, I'm just teasing you, Sushi. Hey, Hoosier, you're fired. Banned. Too late.
Damn.
There's no forgiveness. I've decided less forgiveness. From my trip into the mountains, I've realized I've been too nice of a man to everybody, and it's time to change that. So get ready for evil Chris.
As usual, Chad, I apologize. I'm
Gruesome
here
but cool.
already saying I'm sorry.
That's
We're
right.
only 20 minutes in.
Why
I
are
have
you
gunk
sorry?
on my watch.
Jason, welcome back.
I didn't go anywhere.
That recipe for skin works really well. A lot of skins. Yes, I did red, gray, magenta wash, dry brush, tan flesh for my Forge Fiend skin. Okay. Yeah, Hoosier. I love advanced flesh with magenta wash. But then I got really creative with the dark crimson and really watered that down to make it bloody looking. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Came out pretty dang good. The Anti-Chris, if you will. That's right. Question for Jason from Kruger. What is your opinion about the contrast speed paints? Do you think they lack the creativity and considered as a cheat painting?
I don't think there's anything cheating about painting, number one. I love the speed paint contrast style products for what they allow newer painters to achieve. I just think you have to, like any tool, treat them as the tool they are and not get too beholden to that process if you're wanting to learn to do more advanced painting techniques. You'll see a lot of painters that'll be like, hey, I use, contrast paints for very advanced techniques and things like that. And it's like, yes, but you're a very seasoned pro at painting, and every product is able to be, used in a way that might not be what's on the label.
It's how you use the tool, kind of.
Right. It's, it can become a fantastic tool for lots of people. But yeah, I think they're great. I think that they, like I said, they allow a person who's just getting into the hobby, it's like dry brushing in a wash on something. Kind of has the same effect, right? It allows you to get a really cool effect going without having to know everything about painting. You don't feel like it's as daunting, because this world of miniature art can just feel totally overwhelming as a new painter, for sure. You can come into this, look on Instagram, get totally blown away by people's painting capabilities, and then all of a sudden buy your models and get really excited about it and realize, oh, that's hard. And you can take some of the edge off with the contrast and speed paint, and then they can still be good tools for using later on. Once you get into understanding layering and, more precise, I will call them, not necessarily better, but just more precise methods of painting, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's just another tool in the toolbox. Depends on how you use the tool and who's using it. Those boots are nice, says Alexander.
Well, thank you.
Canodon said, recently Ninjon put a video out on airbrush being a scam. Have you seen it? ?
No. Airbrush being a scam?
He also went into, if you listen to their Trapped
That
Under
sounds
Plastic.
like a clickbait title.
Yeah, he went into it talking about more about the tool itself. But I didn't listen to it often.
Mean?
I did not listen to it at full.
I would have to reserve judgment on that until I heard more. So if somebody can explain
I
to
think
me what they're talking about.
Yeah, it definitely harbors some clicking. That's for sure.
Yeah,
It's
that's
a very
clickbait title, so it doesn't tell me anything, because there's nothing scammy about airbrushes. Now, if he's talking about certain people charging so much for an airbrush and then using a cheap airbrush. You know, I
Yeah.
also don't believe that. That's a scam and a clickbait title, because the in general, the more expensive the airbrush, the better quality of the parts and the better assembly, the better life you'll get out of it. Yes, you can buy cheap airbrushes. There's a company out there called Gallery right now that makes an airbrush that's come in at like tremendously low on the pricing schedule. It is a neat functioning airbrush, but it is not as well put together as like a Harder and Steenbeck or a high-end Iwata or the Grex or any of those. It just isn't.
Yeah. Wad said Vince gave him a good "here's why you're wrong." Yeah, they went into it. It's just a debate subject. I think it's.
But I don't understand what's the premise when he says airbrush is a scam.
No,
Can somebody clue me in?
Yeah, somebody tell us why he was saying that.
Finn says, I think airbrushing is a scam. I'm not good at it, so nobody should do it. Same with brush painting.
Hey, I think it's all a scam.
Ninjon was just explaining it's not a one-tool fix-all type of thing.
Interesting.
I don't understand.
I'd
so
have to
again,
listen to the whole thing.
That seems a little clickbaity to me, right? Because what's the scam? Is somebody out there advertising airbrush as you just paint your models with an airbrush? Because nobody's saying that. Literally nobody's saying that.
Yeah.
Right? Nobody would tell you just use airbrush, right? The airbrush is one of the most amazing tools you can use in miniature painting, period.
Yeah.
Or in any kind of painting, but in miniature painting specifically, because it's a great blending device, basing device, priming device, light affixing device for effects like OSL.
It's a tool.
It's just a great tool.
It's
it can't do everything. You can't do super fine texture details with it, right? So.
Speaking of scams, welcome back, Chris. Little Billy.
Oh, you think it was more that you don't need an airbrush for smooth blends? Definitely not.
I think that's what it was talking about. Mostly just his personal opinions and frustrations. Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't know that he uses an airbrush very often.
Roll to one explode. Thank you for that raid. Party 10.
Speaking of scams, welcome back, Chris.
Hey, I'm not a scam. And Jason, welcome back to the studio. And when I mean welcome back to you, I mean
didn't go anywhere.
Did you go? You went somewhere though in your mind. You were there with me because we're one. This is, like I said, this is an organism. This is not just a metaphor. This is a serious business paint stream. There's the blinking. False. He's fine.
I need saved.
Don't call anybody.
I need saved.
Size for painting.
Which one of your favorite miniature figures size for painting? Do you like more regular size minis or big dioramas?
That's
also,
a great
more
question.
Into sci-fi or fantasy. Kruger, when you say like, do you like more regular size minis? What's a regular size mini? Do you like a Space Marine? Are you talking from a gaming scale? I come from scale modeling, and it's hard to say I come from that because I haven't focused on scale modeling in decades. But what got me into like what I would call higher end figure painting was scale modeling. So 1/35th scale military models in particular, ground based 1/35th scale. I didn't like airplanes and boats and all that stuff. So for me, it was ground based tanks and infantry.
Warhammer.
And so 1/35th scale is kind of like a 50 millimeter scale. So, it's a larger model. So is it Warhammer? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Warhammer is your
Warhammer scale.
Standard mini size. Then I prefer, I think, more large and dynamic models. So Terminators, Dreadnoughts in that scale of work. I don't have as much fun just painting troops that are all 28 millimeter. The heroic scale doesn't appeal to me because of the anatomical problems that it presents, like the old Firstborn Marine models with no stomachs. Their whole abdomen area was missculpted, so it really always bugged me. I'm an anatomy freak. It's some of the reasons why I don't like particular artists' artwork, because they're not really good with anatomy, but they draw and paint a lot of human figures, and it just creates there's an uncanny valley I can't see through that has to do with mistreating anatomy. Because when you mistreat anatomy in a visual spectrum, it makes it hard to understand how it would move, how it would live, how it would survive, and that just takes me out of it. It's my logical processing mind. I'm not saying that anybody else needs to be that way, but for me, when anatomy is off, it really bugs me. It doesn't mean that you can't have cartoon anatomy like this, like a fly with arms and legs, right? But the anatomy is right. Lucas has done a fantastic job of making sure that proportions are correct on this guy. So I can see that if there were a fly with a humanoid body, this would work. It would make sense.
That's cool.
And so that bothers me. So smaller scale tends to suffer from that a little bit. Infinity, the stuff that we painted recently that was the kind of modern warfare stuff was really cool. The Primaris Marines got a lot better, so that makes sense. And it's really just Marines in that, because the anatomy is fairly good on most of the other racial sculpts throughout Warhammer, because they scale them down, but Marines are supposed to be bigger, and instead of making them taller,
They make them chunkier.
they made them chunkier and lost a bunch of their anatomy.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I like bigger figures. I think 75 millimeter is my wheelhouse. It's where I love to be. It's what this is. It's what a lot of the figures that you see me doing, you know, I consider this to be kind of a 75 mil, although this is much larger as a bust. You know, this is probably a 1/16 or something. I don't know. If you had his whole body, but as a miniature, you know, this is a lot bigger than on a whole than a Terminator. You know, but Terminator scale I really love. You know, and the Primaris scale I really love, believe it or not. I think that this feels a lot better against the field. So I don't know. I like painting whatever appeals to me. Now, the question about sci-fi or fantasy is interesting, because I have always said that I think fantasy holds a lot more creative freedom in a lot of cases if you're doing a lot of painting. So if you're painting an army, I prefer fantasy armies, because fantasy armies tend to have each model or unit be different. And sci-fi tends to get lost in the armor and guns. So every model tends to feel really repetitive past a point for me in sci-fi. So I don't prefer to paint big, large sci-fi armies. I would rather do fantasy armies, because you have a lot of different unit types. You have dragons and trolls and all
Different
the crazy
scales.
fantasy things that you can bring in. Whereas in sci-fi, you're generally restricted to like one racial stereotype inside of an army, and then it's armor and guns. You might get vehicles and things like that, but again, it's just armor and guns. But individual figures, I think I'm not partial.
Okay.
You know, like painting that Terminator, tons of fun. If you told me to paint 20 of them, I'd be like, maybe not.
No, thank you.
You know, I'm thinking about doing a kill team army right now. And if I do a kill team army, I'm trying to figure out what would be fun in that. And I'm going through the same thought process. A good friend of mine and I reunited on Sunday and went out to lunch.
Nice.
He does a lot of local kill team promotions and stuff. He drives a lot of people into it, does hobby and
That's cool.
things like that. Yeah, down out of Mock's boarding house.
Oh,
and
cool.
And so Blake's got me like, well, maybe I'll put together a kill team and I'll come let you teach me how to play and we'll have some fun. So, but in doing that, I'm having to look at models and be like, what would I enjoy painting a full kill team?
Do you have any that you're interested in?
I like the Vespid Stingwings, because again, they're kind of that, they give you they're bugs, right? So they're like alien bugs with guns. So I like the fantasy sci-fi hybrid of bugs with guns. Tyranids fly that flag for me too, but I don't like painting Tyranids much.
Right.
Just because I painted so many of them over my years. So the Vespids feel good. Of course, Marines are always really cool if you're only painting like 5 or 6, and I think in a kill team you have 6.
Yeah.
You have a leader and 5 grunts.
Okay.
And so painting 6 Marines I might do. You know, I don't know.
No, that's cool.
When blending after doing a rough sketch of all your volumes, what glaze consistency do you use? When blending after doing a rough sketch of volumes, what glaze consistency do you use? I warn against using the term glaze necessarily. I would say that you're maybe, I call that layering. Glazing for me is a filter technique, and so it really is a very low opacity. It's not that I don't do that a lot, but I change consistency from layer to layer. So I tend to say that we layer blend. We don't just blend with glazes. Once I sketch the volumes in, and then I go back in, because that's usually done fairly opaque, right? You get the color banding like we did yesterday with the eyes. So when we did the first color banding on the eyes on the fly, you could see the differentiation in color. And then I went back and I did more of a glaze with the expert acrylics of various colors that I mixed up there to get it to where it blends a little better. It still has blockiness to it, but my volumes are correct on the eyes, the spherical nature of it.
Yeah.
And then my color started blending, and then I know I'll do the rest of the blending by going in and doing each of the individual facets on the eye. So, but that consistency is like I start thin when I'm at that point. So my first layer goes on maybe 50-50 thinner. You know, I use water a lot of times, but the glazed wash medium, same thing. So like 50-50 for your first layer. So you get that opacity to where it's really see-through. Put that down to locate your color. And then the next layer goes with a little less translucence, more opacity on the next one to get the color set. So I go back and forth. But it's kind of like a 1-to-1, 2-to-1. 2-to-1 paint to thinner, 1-to-1 paint to thinner. Start with a 1-to-1, move to the 2-to-1, right? And I do that back and forth. So the first time I put the color down is thin just so I can test it. It gives me a visual test of the area. Is this working? Is it the right color? Better to go thin than thick. or not thick, wrong word. Better to go low opacity on your first pass than high opacity because you can't mess it up. And then add opacity as you feel comfortable with the placement of color and you see the blend start to happen, because your higher opacity is where you want to control its placement more, whereas low opacity you can kind of just put on there. So I do both. There's not a single step is I guess what I would warn you against. You start finding that when we talk about controlling the opacity of the paint on the brush, that's the single most important thing to blending that you will ever learn. And the big thing you'll find is that you will go back and forth from low to high opacity, or low to mid to high opacity throughout the course of blending just two colors together. And getting comfortable with that and knowing how to control it on your brush, knowing what the paint on the brush. That's why I say don't ever thin on the palette. Don't ever turn the paint on the palette into a particular opacity. Always leave the paint on the palette at full opacity and thin on the brush. So you put the moisture on the brush, pull a tail out like you see here on the colors, right? So can you pop in on just the palette? You'll notice that like yesterday when I was doing the expert acrylics, right, I would put a pile of color. Yep. And then I would pull my blended colors down and then adjust opacity down here. Always able to go back to full opacity in the color and then pull it back down and adjust my opacity away from the blot. So I'm always doing that, leaving the initial color so I can change it to whatever opacity I need to as I'm working, because that's always different. It's very, very rare that I'll use the exact same opacity over and over and over again. That gets you into a situation where you wind up glazing 15 layers of a color and you lose vibrancy. It starts to be way desaturated. So always be comfortable adjusting. I see a lot of people that'll just mix a bunch of medium into it, get the opacity they want. That's all they have on the palette. And now as you work with that, you can build it up layer after layer after layer after layer, but it takes up too much time and it sucks the life out of the color. You'll never get to the vibrancy of a yellow or red by glazing it 50 million times. You just won't, unless you glaze it over a bright surface. You would have to have prepped the surface to be brighter for that. So. Gabe does look very different.
Orky Fish, this is you're false. This is not Gabe. This is Chris.
Age of Sigmar is giving the Sky Dwarves a flying porta potty.
Have you seen that?
No.
The Caradron Overlords just got their updated looking models, and there's a sky deck, and it kind of looks like a porta potty. It's actually a cool looking model, but I think it's their terrain piece or something.
Oh, no.
It's very interesting looking.
Oh no.
Those dwarves though, they did a pretty good job on the dwarves.
Terrence, though, about the blending, you'll see me do a lot on this model. That's kind of the way I paint entirely, is a lot of roughing in of textures and volumes and then glazing over the top, layering over the top, layering in between the colors. So you'll see me do that. So always feel free to ask. That's a great question, and it's one that's hard to just give a silver bullet answer to. Would bright neutral gray work to make a purity seal look like printer paper or new, not weathered and yellowed yet? On the opposite side, what's the workup for a weathered look? Derp stick.
For printer paper, is your printer out in the weather? Is that what we're looking for here? Or are you just talking about a purity seal that's weathered?
I tend to like to go to ivories, right, rather than the neutral grays. I don't ever feel like those are going to be crisp white paper. I feel like they're always on parchment. And while the parchment can be a bright color, I think that bright ivory is about as white as I want to go with it. It still gives me the ability to base it with browns and work up through that yellow brown and feel like it's not notebook paper. But if you want white notebook paper, then sure, you can go dark neutral gray, bright neutral gray, and that would be fine. That could look good on some background colors too, to make it really stand out. Any room for pigments in the Monument line? There's a need for metallic pigments and weathering. I get most of that stuff overseas, and it takes forever. Raw, like dry pigments, Orky Fishmate? Yes, 100%. Working on them now. Weathering pigments, and I've got stuff like, right? Yellow iron oxide.
Oh.
I've got, these are all our stuff. I've got our titanium white. I've got some really, really cool ones that I want to show you at some point. But, yeah, I've got tons here. I've got the burnt umber. Right, so we've got some really good weatherings. Orange oxides, right?
Ooh. I could use some of that orange oxide.
Really cool greens.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've got a lot of really cool stuff coming. Titanium. Obviously, titanium white.
Little Billy, secret products. Stop releasing things, please. I can't keep up. Hey, Little Billy, you're going to have to keep up.
Want me to show you something real quick?
What do you mean, show us something?
Well, because I think I have a model here that I'd like to show you something on.
What do you mean, show us something?
Well, so let's take this guy. Do I want to mess that guy up or do I want to do one?
Mess that guy up.
I want to do one of these guys. I might want to do one of these. Oh, I want to do one of these.
What are you doing?
I have a bunch of test models because at some point in time, people were asking me if we were going to do the anything cool with pigments, and I was like,
Oh.
yeah, I'll show you at some point.
Okay.
And so now's that point. So let's show him some stuff.
Oh, Philip made that. Okay. Yeah, I've seen this guy.
These are just some rando were these Phillips?
I think so, yeah.
I don't know. These are just some rando models that I got. Somebody gave them to me. I was going to repaint them, but here we're going to mess them up on another way. You want to see something really cool?
You can't just say that and then you know what? Everybody's going to say no. Nah, we're good.
Okay.
Turn the
All right,
stream
we'll forget
off.
it then. I don't mean it.
Nobody says these things. Rattlecast says yes. Doghouse Studios, yes. What do you, Gabe? Get out of here. We've had enough of you. He's gonna show us something very cool, chat. Rattlecan says win.
That one's good.
Agrippa says the last time I screwed up on Deathwing bone armor ended up with a model in the IPA afterwards. That's hilarious. Chris, you're fired. I'm taking your job. I'm hiring you and taking my money. No. Take my money, says Doghouse Studios. Are pigments going to require a fixer? We're about to find out, Boo Ray.
I mean, you can always use a pigment fixer on them, but a varnish works just as well. So let me get a...
Surf Sex says, just asking because I got 2 purity seals on the Sergeant. Oh, okay, yeah. That'd be a cool workup.
Need a brush. Oh, let me get this one. This one's all
What
beat
is
up.
Jason even
I'm going to get an
doing
old beat up
right
DA1.
now?
It's got some paint built up in it just because. So you see, this one is a really, really cool thing that we're working on.
Okay.
And it's a white powder, right? So white powder.
Okay.
Right? But watch this.
Oh, Gandalf. What is this? What is that?
That's gold.
Oh, gold. Gold.
That's gold done over like a black base, or you can imagine doing this over another colored base, right? And you can continue to build up this cool
metallic pigment powder.
It's like dry brushing metallic, but you're able to control it a lot more, right?
My goodness.
And it gives it a really good metallic sheen.
No one let the authorities know that Monument's using white powder. Different kind of white powder. This is a PG show. We're a family company.
And then what if I had it to where you could then take, a similar white powder, but when you put it on like over a gold, you got like a really cool iridescent blue going on.
Interesting.
Right? So,
Rattlecan says, whoa, that's gold. Like Rub and Buff, freaking awesome.
yeah. And now I've given it like a really cool, weird, iridescent blue.
Panic Bomb, no, we don't do those things. Hey, Orky Fish. If I can't, I don't understand a better example for you.
And then if I did it again, but this time it gave us like a green.
Interesting. Very interesting. Look how magical that pigment looks like as you're putting it on there.
Yeah.
Like as it's like flying in the air beautifully.
And then you blow off all the extra dust and look at that.
Wow.
So you can imagine, like, just on this crappy, black backdrop, it's giving us some really good colors and being able to mix them live on the model. And their adherence is really, really good, right? Or their adhesion is really, really good. Like if I wipe on the leg, right, I'm not going to knock big swaths off or anything. Wipe on the back of there. Right?
Very interesting.
So then I can just varnish over that real quick and then be able to paint over the top of it. So we're playing with a lot of really fun stuff.
Interesting.
Right. Obviously, those are not weathering powders. Those are not intended to give you weathering effects, but they're very cool.
It's a very interesting effect. What would you call that effect?
What
is that effect called?
It's like a pearlescent. right? It's the
Interesting, okay.
ability to add a true
Sheen.
pearlescent sheen
Yeah.
to any paint, because a lot of people ask, like, okay, how would I
Yeah.
do a white pearl? Well, what if I gave you a pearlescent
Oh.
top coat that you would just put over whatever color, and
And it
it
makes it-
was the pearlescent
It
coat.
makes it pearl.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah, so.
Chat, our captain giveth and he taketh away.
So speaking of, let me see if I've got any. This guy's been
He just got
he's
primed.
just primered.
Okay.
Right? He's just primered. What if I do like this one?
Gandalf.
I do.
This is the white.
Yeah, this is an actual.
Look at the. It's so cool how it goes on, and the camera captures the.
Right.
The pigment.
And so that one's actually
Ooh.
doing a pearlescent effect right over the white. Now, because it's on top of white and it's white, it's not giving it a lot, but you can get a little bit of a blue and a magenta out of that.
Yeah.
So that same thing, if we do it like over here, you can see it immediately on that thigh plate.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Right. While it doesn't necessarily have an overall color of its own, that gave that an iridescent, pearlescent sheen to the armor, while it can still be black.
It's almost like a gloss. It's almost got like, yeah, it's not a gloss, but yeah, it's a
no,
sheen.
because that's still
sheen.
black, but now
Right.
it has that pearlescent top coat on it, so it's like a black pearl. It didn't change the color like the others did. Like that changed it to kind of green.
Interesting.
This is literally so. So we're playing around with a lot of really fun stuff right now. I'm trying to work out in my brain how these things are going to be welcomed into the hobby, because I know the process to make them work and how much fun you can have with them, but are people really going to view them as valuable in their process?
Interesting.
Because they're expensive to make.
Okay.
So I need to make sure that they're not a waste, that people would actually see benefit from using them. And, which I think they would. I think people would enjoy having stuff like that. Now, the weathering pigments are a done deal. We're just waiting on the packaging type and all that kind of stuff, because they will have to be packaged differently than anything else we make right now.
Yeah.
But those are coming. Fun stuffs.
If you're not thoroughly teased, I don't know what to tell you. In a good way. This is a positive tease. This isn't a cruel joke. This is reality. Yes, your eyeballs are working. I could think of 1,000 different things to use those for now in my mind.
I like this. You're learning to care less, right? And just dive in and get messy. Yes. That's where the fun of this art form comes in, right? You're never going to destroy anything.
Yep.
Even if you mess up, it's like, okay, well, I'll just do that again.
Hey, yep. That Chai Cat has a question. Do you guys have any advice for a newbie for building up brown armor for a newbie? I'm trying to figure it out so it doesn't read like leather.
Brown armor so it doesn't read like leather.
Yep.
Great question.
Brown armor.
I guess since you've prefaced it with being new, the big thing is going to be that color isn't as important as texture and volume via reflection. Now, those are going to be words that may or may not mean anything to you as a new painter, right? But the way that we look at this is to say that, right now, when you paint metal armor or, whatever armor that isn't leather, I'm assuming, right? Because you said you don't want it to feel like leather.
Yeah.
Then it's more about making sure that you don't put the same brush coat textures on there, that you allow the piece to be smoother, or whatever texture you do put, like the metal armor that I'm doing here.
Yeah.
Feels like metal, right? It has the shine of metal versus the way that I've painted the leather boots. Even if I made those the same color, they wouldn't look the same because of the way my brush stroke gives me texture on the boot versus the way that I've done brush texture here. Less texture on the metal than on the boot where I've got lines all over it, right? So that the folds and the wrinkles in the leather and things like that become more apparent as the material that it is. So that's the first thing. There's nothing inherently hard to doing brown armor once you understand how you do the different materials. armor being flat, unless of course it's really, really beat up. Then you can put as much texture on it as you want.
Brown armor. Interesting. Sisters. Okay. Danger says, great question. My sister's a battle arm brown armor, and I'm not happy. It's looking like leather or wood.
Well, so here's the problem.
Interesting.
And this is just something that we have to deal with when painting small scale figures. The brain and eye have a relationship that outdates whatever it is you're trying to create on your model. Okay? So you're trying to create brown armor like on your Sisters of Battle.
Yeah.
And your eye and your brain don't care about Sisters of Battle, right?
Okay.
They care that most things they see that are brown are wood or leather or, right? Brown is one of those colors that is not something you find common in cars.
Yeah.
You don't find it common in armor. You
That's a
don't
good
find
point.
it common in the thing that you're trying to paint. So your brain is making an orientation based on when I see things that are brown that people wear, it's generally cloth, leather, right? Things like that. So you have to fight that. How do you do that? You have to go beyond and show it as a material that makes sense as armor. You have to go into where the value and the volumes on the piece overcompensate almost for what the brain and the eye are telling it is normally brown that people wear. Because there is with color, that's why when you focus on color first, is a great example, right? Not something that I would have thought on in discussion on my own. But this is a great example of what we talk about all the time, that color is down the list of importance versus contrast and value and the volumes you create with that. That is the priority in painting, right? Remember that color gets all the credit, value does all the work, okay? Value is what makes people understand what they're looking at, not color. Color is an emotional responder, so that when I look at it, I see brown, I think wood or leather. That's a thing that you need to break through, because that's where everybody's brain will go first. And so when you do that, how? Now you have to focus on brightness versus darkness and all that contrast. What makes, if you go back to the model, what makes this look like metal is not the colors I've used on the steel, although that helps, right? We know that kind of grayish, bluish looks like metal, but it's how the dark and the light juxtaposition on there creates shine and makes it look way more reflective than anything else on the model. I don't do that with cloth, right? So as you paint, to make brown register like that, you would have to create that same distinguishing difference between the brightest color you use on the brown armor and the darkest color. You have to do something akin to non-metallic metal in order to pull that off.
Sure.
Otherwise, you're just going to paint it and it's going to look like hardened leather, which in and of itself isn't bad, but when you're painting Space Marines or Sisters of Battle or whatever in the far-flung future, you don't want it to look like leather. Right. And I totally understand that. So that's one of those tough areas, because brown is a color that the brain distinguishes so clearly for what the material should be. It's why you can put brown on belts and boots and gloves and hats and jackets, and it just looks like leather without you ever having actually painted leather as a texture. To me, when I talk about material, or I talk about painting parts of a model, I immediately go to material focus. What we talk about with regards to, like on the leather here, doing the striations and all of the brush strokes to make it look like the leather creases over time and gives it some aging, and then some scratches on it where you would kick the toe of the boot into a wall or something like that, right? So you create not only with color, yes, there's a brown to it, but with the texture that makes you understand that, okay, yeah, that's definitely leather. Because I could do this in green or red or blue or whatever and still make it feel like it's leather just by the texture we're used to seeing out of a harder leather like a belt and boots. So start wrapping your brain on that. Start looking at, I would Google brown metal, right? Yeah, I don't know that Googling brown armor is going to make sense, but maybe you might find something. But brown metal, brown cars, things that are hard armor-like surfaces that could be painted brown. And then start getting some ideas on what that looks like and start mimicking that in your painting.
Beyond the box art, thank you for that raid. 9. Welcome in, Raiders. Looks great, the Fly Lad.
Welcome, everybody.
Welcome in, everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah, you don't really see brown metal a whole lot, or something painted brown.
Right, like
brown
and cars is generally reserved for like large pickups and things like that. It's a weird thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that there haven't been times where you could find a lot of brown vehicles, but brown isn't a color that the brain really registers as being appealing in that regard.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Right.
It's like a shiny poo going down the road.
I mean, we're painting a lot of brown here.
Hey, we are. Speaking of brown, welcome in, everybody. Thank you for
Chai Cat. Yeah, it's those types of things that you don't really think about but can cause those moments. It doesn't mean you can't do it. It just means you might have to have a tool in your toolbox that you don't yet have that you need to go learn, because it really is material focus that overshadows anything color-wise. I can paint anything and make it look like metal in any color you give me. Pink, anything you give me, I can make it look like hardened surface, because I'm worried more about contrast, value, brightness, and volumes on it, less than color. The color is just a tertiary thing. It's something you think about down the road. What color do you want it to be? We talk in terms of painting your model black and white first, and then if you can take and paint in blacks, grays, and whites and take a picture of it and see every curvature, see every material, get the textures right, then you can apply color over the top of that and you're going to win, because you've already been able to distinguish for the brain without any color what it's looking at. And so when you think about painting and all visual art creation like that, then you start to overcome the idea that color drives the story. Color is the emotional content of the story. It's the thing that can make us either, look at something that's red and get the idea of the demon skin and the heat and the fury and all that stuff. But it could have been any color. It comes down to how you've done your brush strokes to create the texture, or whether you've stippled or hatch marked or done whatever you've done. Dry brushing even, whatever you put on there that makes it feel and distinguishes it to the human mind as to what the possibilities are that could be, right? If you paint all of your cloth the same exact way, all of your dudes look like they're wearing the same exact cloth.
Yeah. Little Billy, take it easy.
Rip Gabe, you will be missed.
Gabe will be back. He will be back.
See you, Little Billy.
When we know, I have no idea. He'll be back. You could add some strong metallic wear along the edges so it looks like brown armor that is worn down to be bare metallics. Yeah.
Well, there's no reason why brown can't be. I mean,
It's
when
just
I think
something
about it, when I think about it, it's not too dissimilar to what we've done here with the bronzy
I think
coloring
bronze.
on the Trench Crusade people, right? I mean, technically that's a brownish armor, but like if I hold it right here, you'll notice how I get a really strong reddish brown because we use like the burnt sienna on here with the noosh. We do those kinds of things, and all of a sudden you get a brown feel, but you see what makes it look like armor is that we move away from the browns into these brighter colors. In this case, this is all metallics out of our metallic line, right? So dark silver dry brushed over the top of magnesium and the browns and all of that. So you get to see that, I've used a different brown that looks like wood because of the grain and the texture that we've painted on here for the wood, right? So you can distinguish. This gives you a really good way to look at it and know that, okay, bronze and this dark brown dirty armor still registers, right? So you can do it, but maybe think outside the box of coloring and not just stay in a dark brown, mid brown, light brown, right? Shift your color a little bit, right? Go to something that's a little bit more of a warm gray for your highlights, so that you start making that a light source reflection rather than just the gradient of the brown, because again, that's what cloth does. My shirt doesn't have any pronounced other colors to it. It doesn't get overly bright or overly dark anywhere. It's just dark navy blue the whole way. And if you paint brown armor like that, it's never going to look. You're going to have to punch some shine into it.
Star Trek, and just realize how small my brain is.
I'm right there with you, man.
Oh man,
I forget more and more every day, but I really blame chat for keeping me on my toes, because chat comes up with some great questions that make me have to think outside the box and remember things I haven't had to think about for a while. Bringing up the brown armor is a great way to talk about this that will make it click for more people, because when I talk about material focus, we talk about steel and gold and cloth and not cloth and leather and blah, 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 and we say that color isn't really the most important thing, but this one is proving it. Color, it can be the most important thing in not getting it right, because you painted the armor brown and it feels like wood or leather or cloth, because that's what our brain wants to see. And so sometimes you have to fool the brain into what it is, especially at scale, because we just don't have the size of the model won't reflect light properly to let you get that from any other source. You have to paint it on there.
Agrippa says, one of my Trench Crusaders has a bayonet that's snapped off. Any suggestions, or is it just a super glue and pray?
Super glue and pray, my friend.
I don't know how else to help you there.
Yeah, it literally is super glue and pray. The problem with 3D printed games is that you could be working with much more brittle models along the way, and you're going to have to just kind of deal with that as it crops up.
Orky says, I think there's a lot of brown and Polish tanks.
I think they use like a darker field yellow, like almost like the German field yellow, but yeah, it would look a little browner. So yeah, you can do that. Yellow. I mean, like I said, Googling for samples, and things to look at is always a great thing. I do it all the time. I look and say, okay, I want to do something that looks like open wound, and I'll Google open wound and get on a lot of FBI lists.
Finn,
I think that's the problem with being a miniature painter and using Google Images as a reference is that you wind up being on every government list ever made because you start Googling some hyper weird crap as you're like, oh, you know what? What does brain surgery look like? What does the human brain look like under a microscope? You just start Googling really crazy crap.
So Finn says, so was that wood on the Trench Crusade model just dark brown, mid brown, and light brown along with texturing?
Yes, texturing and then a glaze of one of our newer washes over the top of that, right? So this was one of those, I believe, dark umber, light umber, and olive flesh deals, where then I went back over the top of it with camo green, right? I glazed camo green because you'll get some real green, kind of mossy. See the green coming out there?
Yeah.
Right? And probably some burnt orange or something like that on there too, because wood is one of those that's really fun, right? You can play around. You can paint it in normal browns, then you can put a wash on it, then you can do greens and oranges and yellows and all sorts of stuff that make it look like, this came out of a swamp.
Yeah.
Or something like that. So you
Just
have opportunity with wood to do whatever you want. I've done
a moldy wood.
Yeah, I just love it, right?
Yeah.
And wood, you can dry brush the crap out of it, but here I've got like oranges, like burnt oranges, and I think this was actually shadow flesh. These are flesh tones that make it look like a little bit of a peach and orange. So I've used flesh tones on there to make it look like it's a little more alive. I really love our dark camo green on that. The dark yellow green works, because pulling in some yellows and things like that, it just makes it look like if you chopped into it, like Lumberjack Tim was saying, not all bark is brown. If the tree is newer growth, or this is an alien tree because there's a 4-armed alien woman clanging on it. Who the hell knows? So it doesn't have to be just browns. And a lot of times I'm looking for the juxtaposition of the figure. In this case, is I didn't have any greens. It goes back to one of those things I ask myself a lot when painting, is that I'm looking for a color for this thing, the tree. I've painted this model. I'm putting her on a tree. What does the tree color need to be? Well, what colors haven't I used on the model? It's kind of one of the first things I ask myself. Well, I haven't used a lot of greens, right? I have a lot of browns in the straps and the leather on her chest and things like that, but I don't have a lot of greens. So let's make the tree pull a lot of greens and a lot of, in this case, like I said, I think it's shadow flesh. I think it's human, Caucasian skin tones that I dry brushed over the top, just because it doesn't have to be a skin. It can be some weird color that goes on a tree trunk. And then we have the dude who's pretty much all tree. Right?
Oh yeah. Oh, I love that workup. That wood is it's such a good workup for wood.
Yeah, so again, this is using, you can see a lot of burnt oranges. I use a lot of Payne's gray in the shadows, right? We use a lot of like khaki was one of the main colors on this guy, so that it was a light, almost like sun-bleached wood, right? Along with browns. Regular, umbers and brown wash and whatever. I mean, you can use purple shadows. You can do all sorts of crazy stuff. It again is like the nice thing when doing natural surfaces like wood and stone is that color is your friend, man. Just slap it together. You get really crazy stuff. Think about Indian slate that has the greens and the oxidized iron content in it, so it has rusty colors and yellows and blacks and all sorts of stuff. And you can just go to town. You can just keep glazing and washing colors on there and get a mishmash. So hard for me to say that word.
Mishmash?
A mishmash
of
stuff going on, and then you'll read it as being wood. Of course, this is a great sculpt, and it has the texture of all the wood baked into the sculpt, so it's hard to miss that. But, I like oranges, greens, yellows, browns. All those things are where I go to first.
There's a lot of different ways to do wood. Panic bomb trees, wood, bark can be so many different colors and nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, think about aspen trees. They're in those neutral grays
Yep.
with like brown, black tiger stripes on them, right?
Yep.
So that can be really cool.
I just saw a bunch of aspen trees this weekend.
Yeah, so you can do all sorts of
White
crazy
bark,
stuff.
beautiful trees.
So when doing trees where you're not having to worry about the foliage on them, gives you an open-ended deal, especially in sci-fi and fantasy worlds where you can create alien trees and, you know, it'd be whatever you want.
Your tree can be whatever you want. Isn't that right, Jason?
That's what I just said, Chris.
Your tree, in quotes, can be whatever you want, chat. That rings true. God bless America.
That rings true.
That does. I'm happy, Chris, you had some time off to finish that Earthworm Gym project. No, I finished another Gargant, though, Orky Fish Meat.
Yeah, I think we had.
Don't keep me on track.
Don't keep you on track?
Don't keep me on track. Keep me honest, not on track.
And now you got me thinking about wood, because here's another one
Look
where
at
we
that.
did it in browns with a lot of the greens glazed on there because of the swampy style base. Remember this chick came with the swamp orcs. Well, she was in the 2-player box set for Age of Sigmar that came with when they introduced the new orc types.
Yeah.
Right, and they were all swampy with cat o' nine tails, and you know.
Oh, I do like that. Yeah, I like how those little foliage pieces came out.
Yeah, so you've got like the green swampy look. So bring the green into the wood.
What the
too.
heck is that thing underneath there?
What's that?
The under that pink and blue thing? What is that?
It's a Zinch squirrel.
What?
It's a squirrel, but everybody wanted me to paint it like Zinchy, so we did it in pink and blue
awesome.
tail. Yeah, it's just like a hidden thing. It's part of the model, but I didn't put it there. But yeah. So.
How does one paint Dr. Seuss truffle of trees? Let me get a reference of that.
I would have to look. I assume Dr. Seuss is in bright colors. This is my first thing.
Wait, pronounce. Oh, yeah, one of these trees.
There you go.
All sorts of colors.
They're hairy.
You can be whatever you want.
I love that Dr. Seuss's trees don't have leaves; they have hair.
Dr. Seuss, do whatever you want. In quotes. Orky Fish Meat. I have a second planner here for just your projects. Thank you, Orky Fish Meat. Keep me accountable. Keep me honest. Don't keep me on track. Keep me honest. There's a huge difference.
Huge difference.
Huge difference. And speaking of a huge difference,
welcome everybody.
We are so glad you are here. It is the top and the bottom of the hour, 3:04 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And Mountain Standard Time as in a unit of measurement in the United States of America, not an oil company.
There's not an oil company called Mountain Standard.
We're getting a green goblin-based pigment, ? False, Orky Fish Meat. False. I have requested for you, chat, from me, that at some point that Jason does that. We might not get there. I'm not going to say that I'm going to stop, but it might be a little bit difficult to put that on Jason's calendar, because when he sees my little email come in, it says green base tutorial with Chris, LOL, fun paint time.
Delete.
He will say
never
maybe. He's like,
never
yeah, my calendar did
my
this.
spam filter.
my calendar did something.
My Google
weird.
really knows me all too well, and
I'm going to use
anything about goblin green bases.
I'm going to use the extra 10 minutes.
I have an autoresponder that just says, "Hi, I'm out of office and don't paint green bases."
I'm going to use the extra 10 minutes of our Friday meetings, Jason, that I also give you so graciously. The 10 minutes back to teach me how to do the goblin green base, and then I'll do it.
Period.
I won't do it. You have to do it. That's the whole thing.
This is great for me.
No.
So, chat, right now I'm using Faded Plum to ignore Christopher.
That's great. It's the first time in my whole life that's ever been said to me out loud.
Yes, well, a lot of people have thought it.
I'm using Faded Plum to ignore this man.
Everybody thinks it. I'm the only one brave enough to say it.
Tadpole Jackson, will you guys ever make a goblin green paint?
I mean, bright yellow green and yellow green are as close as you're going to get.
Tadpole Jackson, that's your answer. So no. It's not labeled that, but use your imagination. Maybe your goblin green is blue. It's whatever you want.
The yellow greens were meant to be in that realm, that kind of, nurgly green and all of those sickly greens that we use so much.
Nibling says, you know what? Why not do a fundraiser for charity? And if the monument Hobbies fan base raises a certain amount, Jason does a Green Goblin recipe video. Your thoughts, Captain?
Green Goblin, like the Marvel character? What are we talking about?
No, we're talking about a Green Goblin base.
Oh.
Jason. HBDC craze.
Oh.
A Green Goblin base. Classic.
I told you yesterday it was going to be a really interesting day today, chat.
Interesting.
I did say that.
Okay, chat.
He is living up to the hype.
I'm not living up to any hype. I'm just bringing forth us and our opinions and our wants and needs for our captain. I am just
I'm painting
the
with faded plum to put some value on the purple parts.
He's trying to paint, and I'm trying to convince him to paint.
I'm keeping
Goblin
this train
green.
focused on what we do best.
You know
here.
what, Jason? You're so right. We're back. I'm
doing what I'm paid to do.
Yeah,
I don't
actually,
get paid, but
you're right.
I am doing it.
This is a serious business paint stream, and
somebody
I apologize.
fed Chris today, chat. So I apologize. Somebody fed to Chris.
Look at us. We're so apologetic. I'm so sorry, chat.
Somebody went to the zoo and fed the Chris today.
Chat, I'm so sorry.
He's not.
Sorry, not sorry. Did you burn your whistle upon return, Chris? Oh, did somebody put this in an unmentionable?
My nuts are on your drums.
Excuse me. You guys like that little smiley face on there? Ooh, he's got many faces. My little train whistle. But you're right, Jason. We got to make sure that you are on track. And when I mean tracks, I mean on the tracks of the ocean, which we, the chat, are the ocean. You, us, we are painting this model. Yeah, that's me in a nutshell. On a very serious note, we, as in me and Jason, not you in this particular instance, chat, sat down months ago, it seems like, and I said, Jason, we should do a Goblin Green base tutorial at some point, to which he replied, I don't want to. And I'm like, fair, harsh, but fair. But what if we made a really good Goblin Green base?
Isn't that what
video?
your tramp stamp tattoo says? Harsh
But fair. That's right. And it's, if you lift up, it goes all the way down to my butt crack. It's awesome. I can't wait to get that when I'm 79 years old.
Harsh but fair.
Harsh but fair. La Dog, one could be convinced Chris and Shelby are siblings, not Gabe. False. I'm not related to any Fisher, and I want to put that out there. I'm done with that family. I'm done. It's over. The Fisher show is canceled. A tramp stamp says harsh but fair. Yes, that's right, Agrippa. I would not show you, but it's there. Trust me. And big, red, beautiful ink.
Red?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's bold. It's a whole thing. I don't have that, chat. Maybe. You decide. You decide, America. Anyway, we're not going to do the Goblin Green base tutorial anytime soon. But just know, I'm thinking about you. Chris's negotiating power comes from the other side having empathy. That's right, Orky Fish Meat. I'm here for you, not for me. I actually believe this out of the stuff that goes at Chris's best. I don't have this tramp stamp. I just want to make that very clear that is not on my body. I think it would be hilarious, but also...
All right, new goal.
A regrettable decision. Ooh.
New goal, chat.
Well, I don't know if you're about to give me a really serious painting tip about faded plum or something about my fake tramp stamp.
New goal. Chris, imagine. Chris.
Oh, God.
Inebriated.
How do I get inebriated?
You drink alcohol.
Oh,
That's
my.
usually how it happens.
Okay.
Or chloroform. I haven't decided which one is the right way to do this yet.
Oh, I'm glad it's Jason's decision.
So,
okay.
And then I bring out the tattoo machine. And we piss off Jen because Jen's always said I'm not allowed to give any more tattoos until I tattoo her first, and I've said I'm not doing it. But in this case, I think even she would allow me the freedom. So we knock out Chris. A little bit of hey Chris, can you tell me why this rag smells funny?
Do I have a choice? If I fall for that, shoot me. Just kill me.
Hey Chris, why does this rag smell so
weird?
I don't
know. Let me see. Oh no. If I fall for that, please shoot me dead.
So we've chloroformed Chris.
All right.
And then now he has a red ink tattoo right above his butt crack that states in very plain English,
Harsh.
harsh, but fair.
Wow. If I would do that for the people.
And then we'll make him a T-shirt that says, "I got chloroformed, and all I got was this
this
damn tramp stamp."
Wow. First of all, I'm not smelling that rag. Second of all, I'll take the whiskey or the drinking. Let's just do it that way. If we get the Goblin Green base, Chris gets the tattoo. That Chai Cat, no. There's a huge difference of quality of what I get and what Jason has to do for that. What a bad trade that Chai Cat.
I feel like it was completely 100%,
No.
probably 150%
There's-
fair. I think that benefits Chris so much because now think about the stories he gets to tell.
There's no way
He's
that
like,
benefits
never
me.
again am I falling for the "what does this rag smell like" thing. That's
No.
the one story he gets to tell.
Yeah.
The other one is, but check this out.
Check out. And guess what I
Harsh
got out
but
of it?
fair.
I got an amazing green base tutorial. And then that's when I kill myself. So,
Aww.
do. None of this is happening. None of this is happening. But maybe.
Actually, you know what?
Oh, Goblin Green?
Let's do primary magenta.
Primary magenta.
Well, I've been showing off the glazing with the expert acrylic, so let's just keep it going.
I hardly know her.
What?
I Yeah. Okay, for Goblin Green bases, Chris is a sacrifice I'm willing to make. Hey, Agrippa,
Chris is a sacrifice you're willing to make.
is a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
Look at how that magenta is going to go over that
Ooh. What are you doing?
faded plum there, folks.
Oh,
Folks.
I like that. Now, here's the real thing, chap. I almost got my dad into thinking about doing model tanks this weekend and painting them up.
Awesome.
We went to this
But he
one.
didn't.
Well, he was just like, maybe I should try this. I'm like, you should. Because he used to do that way, way back in the day. And I'm like, maybe you should give it a try. We went to this general store up in Springerville, and it's called Western Drug. And they had a huge hobbying section, which was wild. It's like a general store, right? It's a big general store. And they had so many model tanks. It's pretty crazy.
Awesome.
I've been glazing the heck out of primary magenta, says Law Dog, since I got it. It's strong stuff, and I'm here for it.
Yep.
I've
So
been
good.
playing around with it, too. Not
So
primary
good.
magenta. I've been playing around with sap green and sepia.
Yep. Also great. This is because when dealing with, even though our magenta has the hue to it, so it blends really well, so it's a little bit more opaque.
Yeah.
It still glazes tremendously, but you need to put a bright base underneath it to really get that contrast. If I were to just paint with magenta, I'm not going to get the intensity of what I'm getting right now on the cloth.
Yeah.
Right. And this is where I wanted the purple to move, was into a more reddish purple. But in order to get this intensity, we underpaint with the faded plum, which is a great purple family color. And then we go over it with the magenta.
Mm.
Too easy.
Yeah. I've been trying to really try the expert acrylics and using them as filters, but I've really learned from like we were talking about a while ago, really watering them down and building up rather than going
100%.
full bore.
100%. Some of the colors are super, like if you look on the
Yeah.
label, they all tell you their transparency. So if
Yep.
you find one that says transparent, then you can use it pretty much right out of the tube. You don't have to have but enough water on your brush to get it to flow,
Yeah.
and then you're fine. If you're using one that says semi-opaque or opaque, then you're going to thin it more.
Mhm.
Because each of them, being that they exemplify the characteristics of the pigment that's in the paint, right? We don't add anything other than to the hues, right? The primary hues, where we put a little white in there so that they get a opacity that allows you to mix them and get the colors you want, because they're called primary cyan, primary magenta, primary yellow for a reason. They are meant to mix to get any other color. So
They're
those
mixing colors.
those have a little bit of white in them to add opacity, because all of those colors on their own are not opaque enough. And when you mix, especially the yellow and the magenta are not opaque enough. So if you mix them with the blue, which is fairly opaque, then you're going to get, a color that trends way blue, right? Or you spend a lot of time thinning the blue down. Now, a lot of people have asked us, a lot of professional artists have asked us, they love the expert acrylic so much that they've asked, are you going to come out with single pigment magenta?
Okay.
And so I think I probably will, because enough people have said, you know what, we love these paints, but we want a single pigment magenta that isn't for mixing. It's strictly for glazing.
Just for glazing.
Yeah, just for glazing.
Now, okay, got you. And what would that color technically be called?
Just magenta.
Just magenta.
I'll just call it
straight
magenta.
Agrippa, I'm not stealing your paints. I don't steal anything, Agrippa. The only thing that I steal is your heart.
Wow.
You're welcome.
Wow.
No, there will not be a Goblin Green tutorial base.
You never know.
And when I say there will not be, there might be. Right, Jason?
You never know.
I think you could do a really good job at that,
You never know.
Maybe we use pigments. Oh. No?
I mean, everything is pigment that we make, Chris.
Interesting. So if we use pigments, maybe that'll get you more into it.
Don't.
And when I mean pigments, I mean everything.
Your
like
Jedi
paint.
mind tricks don't work on me.
Am I more of a Yoda or a Palpatine, Jason?
No. You remember that? You remember that? You remember that in Jedi skill? You remember that kid that stood up in front of Anakin and goes, Anakin, there's so many. What do we do? You're that kid.
Oh, that's who I am.
You're that kid.
Oh my goodness.
Master Skywalker, there's so many.
What
do we do?
I don't really know how to respond because that's hilarious, but also just devastating. Law Dog says, I know we're not supposed to eat the paint. Perfect. Correct.
Great start.
First start. This isn't that. Okay. Semicolon. But I assume that expert artist acrylics use the same safe pigments as the mainline, non-toxic, when used normally on a thumb palette.
Yes.
That was a mistake button.
Yes. We do have things like Nickel Azo Yellow that requires the Prop 65 California, because it has nickel
okay.
in it. So, but it's not a heavy metal that's like one of the band, like the cadmium reds and all that stuff. So,
okay.
I use them as if there's no issue. We always tell people that even though it reads non-toxic, they're all ASTM certified colors, that you need to know your own limits and what.
More of a Watto paint liquor. I take high offense to that.
What do you say?
He says I'm more of a Watto.
Who's Watto?
He's the guy with the little wings, the blue guy, flapping.
He's the guy I just said. He's the guy I just said. Your Jedi doesn't. Your mind tricks don't work on me.
The boy or his mother. Yeah, that guy. Yeah, thanks, paint liquor. Jason enjoyed the old hammer painting. Correct. Maybe some old second edition Rogue Trader.
Well, that's the one he wanted me to do it on, and that base is still not done. So that might be the one that we do.
Jason, can you say that again to the camera for me?
Never heard it.
One more time. I switched to the main camera. Can you look at the camera for me? Right in the camera and say, I, Jason HB Craze. He's not doing it, chat. I tried. That was my attempt to get him to repeat after me.
I told you those Jedi mind tricks don't work on me, Chris.
I'm not a Jedi. I'm definitely not Watto, though. I'm more of like the Sarlacc pit. That's who I identify with. The Sarlacc pit.
The pit or the Sarlacc?
Yes.
Second.
I was about to say Jabba the Hutt, but then I'm like, no, maybe I'm not that guy. I don't think I'm a Jabba. Chris is more like Jar Jar Binks. Thanks, Snibling. You're fired. You're banned. Xnay. Banned for life. I'm not. Stay. Please stay. Don't go. Chris's clone trooper number 8,342. Correct, Panic Bomb Arcade. Pizza the Hut. Yes. Wad. There you go. Full circle. And speaking of full circles, welcome in, everybody. We are so glad you chose Monument Hobbies for your viewing pleasure this afternoon. It is 3:22 p.m. here in Phoenix, Arizona.
And I would like to apologize.
And Jason has apologized.
We are normally a painting stream with a little bit of frivolity thrown in for good measure.
We had a lot of good...
Today we are a frivolity stream with a little bit of painting thrown in for good measure.
You had so
much
many
to my chagrin, college word. Can you
chagrin, college word.
Can you pop in one more?
Oh, I'll pop in. All right.
Thank
hey,
you.
Jason, what does it sound like when you pop a chicken? I can't even finish that without laughing. What does it sound like when you pop a chicken?
Gabe actually found us a sound.
I'm not Googling that. That's horrible. Welcome in. Yes, Wad. I'm so glad you're all here. Where have you been? Chris is more like the guy that directed The Last Jedi. Okay, question mark. Agrippa. I see you, and I raise you nothing. This is Jason, yes. And when I say Jason, as in Jason Craze, he's the one painting. He is not falling for my Jedi mind tricks.
No.
He has like those huge quotes in my camera. Jedi mind tricks.
Not buying it, Chris.
I think of Chris more like a Muppets character, maybe Dr. Bunsen Honeydew or Sweetums. I take that as a highly recommended compliment. Thank you. Orky Fish Meat, I appreciate you. I appreciate everyone here. Kind of.
Do you, though?
I do. Kind of. 50%. Depends on the day. And because since today is Monday, check your calendars. One of you out there is going to check your calendar to make sure it's not Monday. It's not Monday. It might be, though, and we're part of the world.
No.
We don't judge.
No, it's not. It turns out it's not.
No, you're right, Jason. This is a serious business painting
works.
stream. You had a lot of good painting bits today. I don't know how Jason sometimes, depending on Jason's mood, doesn't punch me in the face for real. You know?
Depending on my mood, I don't punch you in the face? Have I ever punched you in the face?
Never. One of these days, though, you just might be like, ow. He'd never do that.
Christopher,
Because
one of two things has happened.
One of two things. Here we go.
If I'd ever punch you in the face. Neither one of them are good.
Okay. I don't think we will ever get to that point.
No.
But
It has been a long time since anyone has been punched in the face by me. Well,
Jason.
Okay, that's not. It was like 2017, so it hasn't been that long.
And that man was me.
No.
And that's how we became best friends. Do.
It was a guy on the ice.
On the ice?
Yeah, playing hockey.
I almost made like a sparkling ice joke, but I decided not to.
No, yeah.
He was drinking sparkling ice.
Not drinking sparkling ice.
Yes. I wonder if his nose does a honk when he's punched. False. My nose does not do that. Hey, Agrippa. You're fired.
Damn.
Banned for life. Don't leave. We don't want you to leave.
Chris is a hard read, man. It's
hard
it's
read?
like, what in the world, Christopher?
You know what,
How
Jason?
am I supposed to act? I don't know how to act. It's
I'm not
like
a hard read.
you tell me we're fine, and then you tell me you're done with me, and then I don't know what to do.
Jason, I am not a hard read. I'm an open book. You just have to choose to read it.
Oh, now it's my fault. How did it become my fault? I really don't understand.
He keeps you on your toes. That's right, Orky Fish Meat. I keep you on your toes.
He does something.
I do something.
Nobody has figured it out yet, but he does something.
What are the 2 things we can definitely not try to convince Chris to do them on stream? We don't talk about those things. It's just like there are 3 things that make me very mad, and I don't know what they are.
I don't know what they are.
There's 3 of them though. We just haven't found out yet. Can we get that Gabe guy back? No. His Costco brand version of Chris was better than, hey, that's my friend you're talking about,
I called
Agrippa.
him the Wish.com, Chris.
Hey, Gabe is a man of his own, a man of his own accord. We are 2 separate people, but remember, we are all the same person. I just want to make sure that's clear for everybody.
2 separate people,
goodness.
but all the same person. Is there? I
My
want you to
goodness.
X up in chat if you're as confused in this relationship as I am.
All right, let me make something extremely clear. I'm Chris, Gabe is Gabe, Jason's Jason, but we are all the same person. Have I made myself clear?
No, not at all. Chat X's.
Don't feed the Jason. Okay. Has a Honda Accord. No, Jabe does not have a Honda Accord. He has a Subaru Forester with the license plate of... I'm not going to give you his license plate because I don't know it. He drives an Accord. He definitely has an Accord. I have to come back in full force. Otherwise, Jason will lose his mind. I've lost it for him. See? So that he can focus on painting and that you can stay entertained. Thus, you get 2 amazing things, entertainment and a masterclass in painting. I don't know what else you want, chat. I'm done. I'm not done. Please stay. That's a lot of extra sarcastic, Grandpa. And you're fired. So, there you go. Orky Fishman says, Jason, I can see rocking an F350 or a Honda Fit. Can go both ways.
A Honda Fit me?
Jason, HBDC craze? I don't think so. Both of those, Jason can rock any car because he's a cool guy. He can do whatever he wants.
I have an old man sedan now.
I don't know, man. Your old man sedan, in quotes, is bitchin'. It's pretty cool. I don't think it's an old man sedan. If that's an old man sedan, put me in Brookdale's because I'm ready to go.
Like I told you, I told the guy at the dealership, I'm like, so who is the target customer for this car? And they said retirees.
Oh.
He just said it without even a glance. Or he was just
Retirees?
deadpan serious. I was like, thanks.
What?
Yeah, that's what he said. That's all the only people that buy him are retirees.
I don't believe that.
That's what I said.
I don't believe that. Orky Fishman, I've seen some big dudes getting out of some tiny cars. It's a vibe. Hey, what's wrong with that? I got a little car.
A Volkswagen Rabbit.
Paint liquor.
Have they made a Rabbit? And when did
No.
they stop making the Rabbit?
Let's see.
That's when like the Golf came out. The Golf took the place of the Rabbit. The GTI.
Yeah. My brother drove a GTI. 2009 was the last of the Rabbit.
Jeez.
My brother drove a GTI. Chris is a big dude. I don't remember that. Hey, I'm a big man. I'm a big, strong man. And I drive a little car.
He does actually drive a little. He drives a little car.
I drive a little Mini Cooper.
He does have a Mini Cooper.
It's very fun.
I do not drive a little car.
Apparently, you drive a retiree's
I
car,
drive
which is
a very large
not,
retiree's
That
car.
is not. I don't believe that. I don't. False. Jason actually drives a 1956 Corvette to work every day.
No, I don't.
I'm gonna
I
make up a
would.
massive. I think Mini Pooper in Chris's case. Hey, paint liquor. Whoa, Mini Pooper. I don't like that.
He's selling his car tomorrow. You've ruined it.
This
You've
stream
ruined it for
does
him.
give me car talk vibes. I missed that radio show. Car talk vibes. Okay.
It's like, was that Click and Clack?
Click
The
and
car
clack.
talk, the car talk guys, or is there another car talk one? It was an NPR show. I think it was like Click and Clack, the car talk guys, or something like that. Am I right or wrong?
We're gonna get some local space here in Phoenix on the AM radio. Maybe we'll just see how much airtime costs from 2 to 4 p.m. on AM radio, and just have them tune into our our live stream. It's like some random AM channel. You just find our stream.
Every now and then,
They're looking for people to pay for that airtime.
every now and then, our voices get preempted by
It's
like,
like,
Harry's bail bonds.
Harry's bail bonds. Are you in deep water? Call Harry.
Harry will teach you how to swim.
Hardly ever talk about cars. Orky Fishmeat says, all retirees where you live are just cool dudes, says that Chai Cat. We got some cool retirees here. Jason's not retired. That's why his car is not a retired.
You know how you know I'm not retired? Because I'm sitting here dealing with this with
Whoa.
Christopher.
This is it for me, chat. You asked for this, Jason.
Huh?
What do you mean, huh?
How is
You
this
asked
always
for
back
this.
to my fault?
How was your vacation?
I didn't go anywhere. That was you. We've had this conversation.
How was your vacation, Jason? I'm sorry. I need to back up. Holy, you guys.
You need to talk about aliens and make it late at night.
No,
I'm down.
Hey,
Can we talk about ancient astronaut theory?
I'm so sorry I got us off the rails, you guys. That's really not professional. On my first day back, come on. Like, this is serious business. This is a serious business painting stream, and I messed it up day one. Northrex says, I was telling you all to get on cable access, but drive time radio is even better. That's right, Northrex. That's our new monument initiative. We're going to dump a lot of the budget into AM radio space from 2 to 4 p.m. Mountain
Bringing it
Standard
back.
Time. That's right. You heard it here first.
Bringing it back.
Sirius XM, call us. We are going to get a hotline in here one of these days.
No, we're not.
And speaking of hotlines, welcome in, everybody. Who's excited for Christmas in July? Hands raised. This guy. We're getting ready. That's coming up. Christmas in July.
I actually got excited. Jen did it, not
Jen?
you. I give you no
It's-
credit.
Hey, that's okay. As long as the vibe's out there, I don't care.
Jen did it. Jen came up with a great idea for you guys, chat.
And we applaud Jen.
But Jen is the one to blame and the one to cherish because she came up with some really, really cool ideas for you, chat.
We do, and we'll have to talk about that. When is that? I have a couple ideas. Jason and I's meeting on Friday, I've extended by 3.5 hours. It's normally 15 minutes, but this Friday I've decided that it needs to be longer.
You obviously didn't check my schedule this Friday
I did.
where it says I'm gone all day.
I've canceled all your stuff.
Oh, great.
I've
Thanks.
canceled that for you.
Thanks. You canceled all my meetings.
You're not gone Friday.
I was having heart transplant surgery.
Jason, you'll be here, even with a new heart.
Not anymore. You canceled it.
No,
I want you to think about that.
stay
now.
alive. Oh
I
no,
really needed that new heart.
I gotta call the hospital. Keep that thing in a freezer. Keep that thing on ice. We need that heart. Speaking of heart transplants,
Welcome everybody.
welcome in. If we haven't already stolen your heart, we're so glad that we're attempting to. I don't know where I'm going with that.
Me neither. But I'm here for it.
Maybe we need a quick tank painting stream to inspire your dad. I think scale models are going to make a comeback. I'll get him. Oh, I'll get him. We'll get Papa Masucci. We'll get him in there. We'll get Stefano. Stefano!
Hey, what does it sound like when you pop a masushi?
Oh, I don't even know.
You did that to yourself.
I did. A Papa Masucci?
Yeah.
A Papa Masucci. Yeah, we'll get Stefano in there. Have they stopped putting I almost said cars in radio. Kind of. Have they stopped putting radios in cars? You can still get a radio in your car. Sugar Rush. Most of them come with like standard satellite now, depending on if you get a stock vehicle or not.
Mine's got like 3 free months or something like that.
Oh,
You
so
know,
that
I
you
think they
can
give you like 3 free months of Sirius.
so that you can enjoy your first 3 months of retirement.
Yes, so I can
Wait.
listen to the AARP channel.
Jason, you are here on Friday.
No.
Don't scare me like that. Jason, I'm looking at the calendar right now. What are you talking about?
Oh, I hate digital calendars.
Oh no.
That one's wrong. That one's not up to date, Chris.
You're not up to date. Oh no. He is getting a new heart.
Tadpole Jackson says, the guys in my neighborhood will take the radio out for you even if you don't want them to. Oh, Tadpole Jackson. I'm sorry. Maybe it's time to move. Who are they selling that to? That's my question. Hey, I got this car radio. How much you want for it? I stole it off this schmuck's car.
That really seems like a very old school thief thing because,
yeah,
like in
Tadpole
today's day and
Jackson.
age, are you really able to go to like the pawn shop and
sell
like
a
be like, hey
car?
man, I got this AM/FM radio.
Who's buying this? Tadpole Jackson, I'm not dissing you here, but who is your town big on car theft radio? Radio car theft? Whatever the hell I'm trying to say. I hope not. Who's buying it? I'm so derailed. It's not even funny. Jason has given me the sigh of disapproval many times.
Many times.
He's getting a heart transplant apparently, which should be on the calendar because
It should be
that's
on
like
calendar.
the
It
number
feels like
one
that's important
thing.
enough to go on the calendar.
Hey, you guys, cancel everything. Jason's getting a new heart. Why is anything on the calendar? What are we doing?
So the funny thing is it's not a new one. They're finally giving me one.
Oh,
But don't.
Jason, no, I can't even give you. It's there. You go.
See?
I don't think. Jason, how are you excited for Friday? Not for the new heart thing. Let me backtrack. We're having a Hobby Friday.
Hobby
now.
night.
That's right.
I'm thinking about participating.
What do you mean thinking? Well, I'm sorry. Let me clear my ears out. Thinking?
Yeah, I'm thinking about coming.
What do you mean thinking?
Well, I mean, I'm thinking about participating. It's in my list of could be priorities
Jason.
is to hang out with you guys.
Oh, I won't be there.
Oh, you're not coming.
No, I won't be there
Okay, well then I'm not coming.
because I've got to give somebody my heart. I'm
Oh, are
going
you a
to-
donor?
I am now.
You can't donate a heart, man.
You can. Let me show you how.
Oh no!
That's
Give
it
me
for
the
me.
X-Acto knife.
Put it on ice.
Give me that X-Acto knife.
It was a serious painting stream when Gabe was here. Nibling,
It was.
it was not a serious business painting stream. This is serious business. I'm so sorry, you guys. Jason's annoyed with me. As in extremely proud of me.
I am extremely proud of you, Chris.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate that. Jabe, whatever Chris has said today is not true and false. Is not true
Not
and
true
false.
and false.
Okay, now you're just sounding like me.
I was trying to tell you, the only thing wrong with Gabe is he was trying too hard to be Chris.
There you go. That one's for you, Gabe.
There you go.
Take that to the bank.
Take that to the bank.
He's stolen so many hearts from chat. Oh, paint liquor. You're so welcome. Orky Fishmeat says, how can we the people, turn the act of painting into a gamified process, a mini painting game of painting minis? Well, we don't play games here, Orky Fish Meat. So, answer to your question is that we don't play games. But you can gamify whatever you want.
I like the question. Like if you're talking in terms of how you can
Gamify
kind of
mini painting.
turn it into something that you can inspire yourself to do, is that what you're trying to accomplish? What's the goal here?
Gamify it. Yeah, Orky Fish Meat. What do you want? What do you want with this? Orky Fish Meat?
In the various
Miniature shame golf. That's hilarious.
in the
Dad,
various
Jackson.
like starter leagues that I have participated in, one of the cool things is that you would get points or raffle tickets for the amount of points that you painted. That was gamifying your hobby.
Points as in like point value?
Yeah, like the point value that you were actually able to paint week to week as you were doing a slow grow league.
I changed my opinion entirely. I love that idea.
Because you have the slow grow league where you have to build the models, you have to
Right.
come with your army, but you also were like, okay, but how much can you paint between now and the next time we see you? And for every X amount of points you would paint, you would get a raffle ticket.
Okay.
And then at the end of the slow grow league, not only did like best general, best painted, all of that get, the standard prizes, but then they would raffle off stuff too.
Oh, I could be into that.
Right. So that's a way that I can see, gamifying the painting so that you can, feel like there's a value to it or be enthused to jump on the painting desk because you're like, holy cow, did you see they were giving away a Warlord Titan? I mean, not that I'm going to give you a Warlord Titan if you paint
You heard it here, folks.
a bunch of models,
We're
but
giving you a Warlord Titan. We're not doing that.
that was costly.
I'm keeping it. I will join that competition.
That was what we call a costly mistake.
Hey, here's a Warlord Titan. Just paint 500 points. That's it? That's all you have to do?
You with your Gargants are like guaranteed a Warlord Titan.
I just finished one. I have 3 finished ones now. So technically, I have a lot of Gargants, though. These are my 3 new ones. I have many points of Gargants. If anybody wants to do a 6,000 point battle versus a bunch of giants, let me know.
He does have a lot of giants.
Which would be fun, actually. Speaking of fun, this is no longer fun to paint time stream. This is business. We are using primary magenta on this model. And when I mean we, I mean us. Primarily Jason. And primary magenta is the paint he's using. See what I did there?
I do see what you did there.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
I didn't say I liked it.
That is for me. A little round of applause.
For you,
Bing.
I'd like to give myself a little hand slap
I would
on the
never
back.
do
That's
that.
good.
Here's the little magic. That one's really loud. I don't
That
like
was
that.
really loud.
Oh my, what's this one? Ooh, okay. That was a mistake that I just pressed. Jason, how was your vacation?
I didn't go anywhere, Chris, but thank you for asking. How was your vacation? Because you're the one that left, remember?
I had a
It was
great
me
time.
that you left me alone with Gabe.
Alone? Gabe had a good time. I asked him, so how was your time? And he's like, you know what? Screw everybody. Burn it to the ground.
Was that what he
I'm
said?
done. I'm out of here.
I don't think that's what he said.
Straight up, his words exactly.
I might have on Friday evening sent Gabe a little text that said, hey, you did a great job at the stream. Thank you. A lot of fun.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
You did?
You should hang your hat on that. It's
What'd he
good.
say to that? Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah.
Boopity boopity boop.
Yep, that was exactly what he said.
Gross.
I'll show you in Messenger that he said boopity boopity boop.
Jason never responds to my text messages. I'm like, you up? Never. He's
No,
never up.
he says, I've lefted the building.
I've left it. I did say that. I left it the building.
And
I left it the building.
Jen goes into cardiac arrest every
Jen's
time
like,
you do it.
I've left it the building.
She's like,
Ralph-
do we pay these people
I hope
to
so.
have that bad grammar?
You guys are getting paid? What? Chris, I love how big your finger gets in the Chris cam. That's right. When I'm pointing at you, the chat. We the people will paint this model. I didn't want this. Let the record show. This was not the beast I created. Gabe did a great job. In all seriousness, I just want a serious moment about Gabe. Screw that guy. We're done with him. The Gabe show is canceled. No, he's aight. He's
Here we
aight.
go. You would have to deal with Chet.
He's a good guy. He's just a murderer.
You see what I have to deal with?
You out there, Gabe?
Oh, he's out there, all right.
Oh, he's a lurking.
Oh, that's a lot.
I righted the building or lefted it. Yeah, that's right. Why is Chris so bouncy on the camera? It's because I'm in a chair. Gabe did mention that. He's like, Chris, your chair sucks.
Your
I'm
chair
like, you have
sucks.
to get used to it.
He's like, your chair sucks.
You have to get used to it.
You don't have to do anything you don't want to. And if one of them is
That's
get used to
true.
that chair, you don't have to do that.
It's a great chair, Jason.
It's not.
It keeps me upright
Well, there
and
you go.
presentable
That does not
and
make it a great
bouncing.
chair.
How fun is this? Chat's like seeing this little head. Boo-doo-doo-doo. It's all right.
Although
I
he
need
just
to
said he
be,
has a little head.
I do have a big head. I can't even joke about that. My dome is massive. A big head. Filled with hot air. That's what something my aunt would say. I have great people that love me, I swear.
He just hasn't found them yet.
They're out there.
They're out there, though. I have faith.
Tamwolf says, I thought everyone at Monument had to stand, no chairs allowed. That's what I thought. That's how I built my entire desk here for myself. But then somebody's like, Chris, what the heck are you doing? I'm like, this is in the handbook. Why are we sitting? I do have a little treadmill at my desk.
It's not in the handbook. You are allowed to sit. We are
What?
Not, we are not the.
I've been here for more than a year and a half almost.
You know,
I can sit?
Chris's attention to detail is second
Wait
to
a
none,
minute.
It turns out.
It says I can sit. Agrippa says the chair is as good as the occupant. I'll take that as a compliment because this is a damn good chair. Oh, I'm so sorry. Whoa. Excuse me. Pardon my French. Oui.
French gets such a bad rap.
I know. I'm
Hey,
so
we
sorry.
can say that now. We have an office in France.
See? There you go. Pardon my French, but have you heard of Monument EU?
It's coming.
It's a coming.
I was right before stream. I was working on all the shipping dialogue stuff.
Oh boy.
Yeah, boy, that's a lot of fun.
That sounds like
That's a lot
a
of fun.
riveting task.
That's a lot of fun. I'm telling you. If ever there was something that you need to spend some time doing, it's working on shipping dialogues.
So Jason came into the office this morning and said, Chris, I love shipping dialogue. And I said, shipping dialogue? I hardly know her. And then we haven't talked till just 2 p.m. today.
And I only do that because chat forces me to deal with you.
I have 15 minutes on Jason's calendar a week. That's it. Chat, right here. I'm looking at it right here because we talk about efficiency. And I'm efficient. But this Friday, I am increasing the time. I'm going to increase it by 4 hours. Does that go with you, Jason?
No.
We're going to start at 5 a.m.
Thanks, but no. You're welcome to. You have a key. So,
I'll be here.
Yeah, I'll be here too. 5
Oh,
a.m.
You will be?
Yeah, I'll be here at 5 a.m.
On Friday?
Friday, 5 a.m. We will be here. We will have the best meeting we have ever had.
We could go get,
our
like,
entire lives.
We could go get Bosa donuts. We could go get a donut.
We could definitely go get Bosa donuts.
You think I'm joking? 5 a.m., dude? That'd be a great meeting time. You know how much work we could get done?
All of it.
At 5 to 8?
All of
And
it.
then people would start showing
Oh, yeah,
up?
all of it. All the work.
Your shipping dialogues will become our dialogues. I'm so sorry, you guys. I was away from you for far too long. I missed you all. I was thinking about it late at night.
Yeah,
it was
we
cold.
watched in a while, but who is this guy that is talking and not painting on a painting stream? Exactly, Tamwolf.
Tamwolf, I haven't watched for a while, but who is this guy that is talking and not painting on a painting stream? That's a great question, Tamwolf. I did not vote for this. I did not vote for this camera.
Well, okay, so you'd still be the guy talking and not painting on a painting stream, regardless if they can see you or not. It is true. You were just the disembodied voice before. Now they can attribute it to your mugshot.
5 a.m. work start, then you can get a nap in. Yeah. I don't nap. Orky fish meat. I don't know if that surprises you or not.
That's literally all he does.
What? Nap?
Naps. We catch him in here. He's
I
like, I have to go over to the studio to do some do.
Excuse me?
And then
Did
we
you
come
rub
over
my
here.
lamp?
We come
Did
over
you
here.
wake me up?
We come over here and we're like, we blow the air horn, and Chris falls out of his chair, and then he's like all mad and contacting HR. Just the way it goes.
Sir, I've never done that in my entire life. That's exactly wrong, and you're all fired.
We use that megaphone right there.
I haven't used this in a while. I have to use all my toys on the first day back.
Did you miss them?
Oh, yeah.
Did it keep you up at night?
I woke up in a hot sweat. I'm like, where's my slide whistle? Hard-earned dollars. Well used
He
right
woke
here.
up in a hot sweat because he was like, Gabe's using my slide whistle.
Gabe's blowing my whistle?
He did.
Gross.
He actually did. Touched all your things.
Okay.
In the least appropriate manner
Oh,
possible.
my in heaven. I don't like it.
Big
You
head
left.
talking up valuable real estate. That's right. That's right. Sweat. It's okay. You're correct. You get 100 sushi points.
What?
Brag. That's right. 100 sushi points right there.
What?
Big head taking up valuable real estate. That's what I said. My head's
Oh
too
my
big.
God.
You're the voice of reason. It's okay.
Don't,
This all is going to change.
don't pump him up, please.
This week, I'm going to change this camera. It's going to look a lot more professional. It's going to have a border.
Some
Jason's going to
lighting.
go, Chris, you're all right. And I'm like, that's fine.
Is he gonna have some decent lighting?
It's going to have decent something. I have a little lighting. I just need different settings. I can't customize this one because it's a little webcam. I can, but it's not as fun.
It's not as fun. He wants to go spend more of my money.
No, I don't. I'm not going to spend money. I have them right here. I just have to set
Oh,
it
you
up.
already spent all my money.
Oh, my gosh. Jason, what am I going to do with you?
I don't have any idea. Jen's been asking that for 10 years.
What am I going to do with you?
Never asked me. Yesterday,
You know what Jen is going to do? She's going to have Christmas in July, dang it.
so yesterday I
Yeah.
get home and my poop schedule is off.
I love how this is turning and where this is going.
Okay. So my poop schedule's off, and I think it's because we went to the melting pot on Saturday. That was a lot of cheese.
When you go to a place called the Melting Pot, your poop schedule's going to be off.
You're roasted, right? You're roasted. So I'm a little off normal. It's still good and healthy, but it's just the wrong time of the day. I wake up in the morning and you know, you do the morning ritual, right? You poop, shower, and shave. And I don't always shave, but I always poop in a shower. So given that I poop in a shower, the last few days it's been, what's going on?
Uh-oh.
Like I'm not living up to the task.
You
So
poop in the
yesterday I
shower.
came home and I looked at her and it was like 7 o'clock. I look at her and I go, I have to not eat tomorrow.
Oh.
And she goes, she's sitting there watching TV with the dogs, and she just kind of, she puts her head down. She's like, why?
Why?
And so I told her about my poop schedule, and she
Well-
goes, but why would you not eat? And I go, because you have to eat on a schedule that you eat, and you have 3 meals, and it's followed by poop. That's how it works, right? Well, maybe not have 3 meals, but between breakfast, lunch, and dinner, whatever you eat, encapsulated the next morning, you poop, right? So you load up, and then you poop. And that's how it works.
Okay.
And so somehow it all got drastically switched to where now it's from dinner to dinner, and then you poop. But that means you poop after dinner.
Jason, have you pooped?
Every day.
Are you regular?
Every day. It's just the timing has changed.
I don't know how to
Going to
help you.
Europe didn't help.
That'll do it to your poop schedule. Europe.
Going to Europe didn't help.
Those Europeans, man.
But
they
the moral of
really-
the story is that I look over at Jen as I'm telling her this, and I go, do you ever tell your friends about me?
Are you embarrassed of me?
And she's like, oh my God, yes. And she's laughing her ass off. She's like, I tell them how much fun it is to live with you. And I was like, it's kind of like having a toddler that you don't have to change diapers on, right?
I can imagine you coming in. Jen, I haven't pooped today. I got to change the whole script.
This is just the way life is, man.
Wow. Those are goals right there. Gotta buy myself a retiree car, learn about my own poop schedule.
Get a magnificent woman who deals with you.
That's right.
Telling her
Wow.
about your...
I mean, I know we're joking, but amen, brother. The old triple S, says Boo Ray.
Yep.
Agrippa says, wait, Jason poops in the shower? Question mark.
So I didn't want to have this part of the conversation.
Where else do you
show up
poop, Agrippa?
Because I want to be
In a
impressive
toilet?
to all of my fans. But no, I don't poop in the shower.
Speaking of
That's
poop schedule, says Finn.
That's horrible.
Welcome in, everybody. We are just about to wrap up. It is 3:55 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and that means we have 5 minutes left. And I don't know if Gabe was like going long, but he went short yesterday. It was all wrong. When I go,
We had a
over,
4 o'clock meeting. We had Ben in at 4 o'clock on the dot. When I got over to my office, Ben was in my office touching my things.
Don't 4 o'clock me.
Hey, I will do what I want to, bub.
I look at the YouTube
You're not the
thumbnail
boss of me.
and it says 1 hour 59 minutes and 02 seconds.
What?
And I flipped.
What? Did we not live up to your expectations yesterday?
I don't have any expectations because everyone lets me down.
Right, there we go. I'm liking this purple now.
I really like this purple.
It's coming together. It's coming together.
We didn't get the poop sprinkles today.
No, I'm doing the purple today, as you might have noticed. Had
Should
you
we-
not been just
No,
gallivanting around, yip-yapping, flapping your gums, maybe you'd have seen
Finn-
that I was
Finn-
doing the Lord's work. I
was reading Finn's question.
painted.
No,
I
we painted this model.
I painted these buckles on his little booties, right?
painted
And then I
this
painted
model.
the purple on his little booty, right?
We
So
painted
this is getting the magenta layered on there, and I'll go back and we'll back and forth it and get the textures all added back in there.
Finn, that was your fault. You're right. Finn, I was just trying to read your question. We didn't get to paint the poop with sprinkles today. Not today. That will be the last thing we do on this model, and it'll be its whole
Oh,
own
that is
tutorial.
the icing on the cake. The cherry on top.
Sorry, Chris. Hey, never be sorry. Be better.
Just balm Gabe for early out yesterday.
No.
Tiger
I
balm, lip balm.
Rattle Can. We're all a good team here. I love every one of my teammates. I even love Jason. I even love Gabe. And we will paint more tomorrow. I think how...
Swag like Richie asks, what? Did you ask like what we do with all these models when we're done?
Yes, you did. And I said we put them on a shelf.
They literally go on a shelf.
They go on the shelf right next to him.
They go on the shelf over here so that we can pull out and say, hey, look, if you, we keep them basically to answer questions and to help use as visual aids for
That's
when
right.
people ask questions about how do you paint a certain thing. We just have a mob of models. There's a whole room of models over there. There's way too many models.
Are you freehanding the sprinkles? How else would he do
I
that,
literally
Blu-ray?
will be freehanding the sprinkles.
I don't know how else he would do that, Blu-ray. Not to call your question out. I just don't know.
Well, I mean,
How
you
else would
could
you?
make little
you could flick-
green stuff,
I take it all back. You're right.
which would actually be better than painting them on there, would be to make little clay
Little
tubes, cylinders, and then
Yeah.
stick them on there. That's a little more work than I really want to do, but that might be worth doing.
you got to do like little clay bits. Do you have?
If we
any
could
of that?
find any two-part, our Abe's epoxy sculpt is all dried up because we haven't used it in a long
What
time.
about some of that museum putty? Can
We'll figure
that
something
dry
out.
up?
We'll figure something out. I can find little bits of plastic and just shave little bits of plastic and put them on there.
We could put real sprinkles on there.
No. Oh, but they're big.
Let's cut them down.
Can you imagine like putting a life size, just one that's like this big to put him into scale? What is that? That's a sprinkle, and it's literally like
That's an awesome idea.
huge. It's just one sprinkle laid across the top of it. Big.
When
pink.
is the basing stream incoming? Which basing?
For this guy?
No, there. I mean, would you like a basing stream? We haven't done one of those. A base. We haven't done a base one, and you know what? It's time, Jason.
What time?
It's 3:59 p.m. Mountain Standard
What if
Time.
I said right now that Chris, you can't leave? We're doing this all night long.
If you
All
really,
night
if you
long.
really meant that, we
All
would have had
night.
a prior discussion, and you would have
All
said, "Chris,
night.
I would like to go for a long time," and I'd go, "Okay, your wish is my command."
We're gonna Lionel Richie it.
I haven't seen Ghost Hunter today. I think Ghost
4
Hunter.
years ago, how we did our red granite Custodes bases. Nothing ever again. Oh, we did do some bases
You could do a base.
where we did those resin bases for the Custodes and we sprayed them all and then attached the models later. That was a lot of fun because it allowed us to focus on the base. I would have to get some resin bases or something built up that we could paint, but I don't have a problem doing a basing stream.
What about just?
I don't know that I'm interested in putting the base together, although I guess we could do like a part of a show where we put a base together out of like whatever cork or
Yeah,
various materials to make it
yeah.
and then paint it. We could make it a whole
Make a base
thing on a single base for a particular model.
You could show the new tubes.
Yeah.
We have not done that.
Yeah.
We could do that.
Yeah. There might be something in there. Might be something in there. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us. If you're new around here from one of the raids, please hit the follow button. We'd love to see you back. We do this 5 days a week, if you can believe that. I have to put up with this guy for 5 days a week. Although this week, it's only 3 days because he took a vacation and was gone for 3 days, and I had to put up with Gabe for 2 days.
3
He was gone
days.
for 4 days. 3 of those days, I had to put up with Gabe.
You didn't have a stream on Friday.
Right, which is why it was only 3 days I had to put up with Gabe. But you were gone for 4.
I was gone for 4.
I got a day off too. I got the Friday no stream day, where Jen and I actually took a half a day off. We went out and had a
That's
brilliant
awesome.
lunch. So that was
That's great.
so
that's what those days are for.
But other than that, when
Other
Chris
than that.
when Chris abandons us, we normally
Other
do
than
this
that.
5 days a week.
We
Monday-
do it 5 days a week.
Monday through Friday from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time here in wonderful Phoenix, Arizona, live from Monument HQ. Check out all the links that Chris put up in chat. You can get the monumenthobbies.com store where you can check out all of our Pro Acryl paints, both the expert acrylics, the normal Pro Acryl line, and all of our brushes and all the wonderful hobby tools we make. If you are in the market for paints, brushes, or other things to keep your miniature painting habit, get your fix, so to speak, give us a chance. I think you'll love the goods we have. Panic Bomb says we have 5,749 in the Discord. That's it. That's all there is.
That's it.
The
Boom.
Discord marketing is done. We have 5,749 in the Discord. That's
Numbers.
it. We don't know what those are, but
Numbers.
we have 5,749 of them in the Discord. Not
Numbers.
even, yeah, it's just, there you go. That's a
Go-
big number. You should come.
Spatsnat.
Painters in the Discord who wonder where Gabe is. Oh, Spatsnat. Wow, it hurts, but I love it. But definitely join the Discord. It's a great community of people just like here in chat. If you've been able to live through this chat,
This
then you'll
one?
love Discord.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Please.
it's literally just 5,700 more people.
Sound the doom bell.
It's amazing. Sound the doom bell.
That's
Oh, he
right.
did. He calls it the doom bell
The doom
now.
bell.
Yeah.
Okay. I
The
see
doom
that.
whistle.
The doom whistle.
It's the doom whistle now.
I like it.
Yeah. It got renamed. It now has a totally different. It's been cursed
This?
as the doom whistle now.
This is the doom whistle?
Yeah. Don't blow it. It's doom.
Doom?
Doom.
This gets us on track, though. How can-
Random person, though,
Oh,
Chris. I don't know that you want
no.
that power.
This is
Some
random?
random viewer just gets doom for 24 hours.
That's awesome.
So let's. That's awesome.
I have the power now.
It's like when you say, if I gave you this red button and you pressed it and it would kill somebody, and before I finish, you go press. You go, wait, I didn't tell you what it did,
Ding.
but you said it killed somebody. And you hit it again.
That's
and again and
horrible.
again and again. So thank you for hanging out. Make sure you stick around. Chris is going to find somebody to raid, so we'll get some hobby goodness as we go off into your evening. Enjoy. Show some love in the chat we wind up in and keep this thing going, and we will catch you back here tomorrow. Have a great night, gang. We're out.
Peace out.